Welcome to Everyday Car Guy. Today we are in Denver, Colorado, and I am test driving a RAV4 by Toyota. So come along for a ride and I'll show you what this car is all about. Hey, welcome to Everyday Car Guy. Today we're test driving a RAV4 by Toyota. Take a look at this car. It's pretty basic. It doesn't even come with aluminum wheels. Those are hubcaps, ladies and gentlemen. It does not have power seats. It does not even have a power liftgate. It has a nice stance, but the base model is kind of plain and boring. Upper levels have really nice roof racks, nice wheels, and more flared fenders, but this base model is just that. Let's take a little bit better look at this RAV4. We think it's a 2023, but it could be possibly a 2022. We rented it here in Denver. I'm on a job here, and it has over 30,000 miles on it, which is a lot of miles for a rental car. The Toyota has a 4-cylinder inline engine that creates about 205 horsepower. It has an 8-speed transmission, which gets you 27 miles to the gallon in the city and about 35 miles to the gallon on the highway. Combined mileage is about 30 miles per gallon. So let's take a look at the inside and see what we think. It's about as basic inside as we can get. The interior is a cloth interior, nothing fancy. Your seats are even manual to adjust them. Height is adjustment, you have to pump them up. The back seat is very small, and it does not have a lot of legroom. Now this car does not come with power liftgate, so you actually have to reach underneath here and open it. Very good to fit groceries and things like that, and the seats do fold down. Very simple to fold them down. Just pull the little latch and they fold right down, which gives you pretty good room back here. You have your 60-40 split, as all cars have these days. But to lower the hatch, where's the button? There is no button. You need to close it yourself. That's the way it is, unfortunately. To unlock the car and lock it, you have to use the key fob. You have a lock button and an unlock button. And then you need to pop out the key to start the car. Reach around, stick the key in, and hear that 205 horsepower. My God. That's a lot of power. All those horses are rolling in that inline 4. Let's take it out for a spin, don't you think?
Use the left 3 lanes to keep left I-70 west toward Denver.
So I'm in Denver, as you can hear from my GPS, and we just did a promo for the CMA Awards that'll be out in November. And I rented a RAV4 by Toyota. It does have Apple AirPlay, but I plugged it in instead of downloading the app. But as soon as I plugged it in, Apple AirPlay worked perfectly. Which, at this point, why buy a car with GPS if you can just hook up with your Apple AirPlay in a matter of seconds? And when I mean seconds, I mean seconds. It was very quick. So very easy. I have a cable, and I take this cable and I just hook it in to the USB port. Take the other part, plug it into my phone. And now all we had to do is turn on our nav system, hit Apple CarPlay in the here, and we resume our drive. And I know it also has Android CarPlay too, so you could hook it up if you had an Android. I know this car, you could download the app from Toyota and I could do it wirelessly, but because I'm just renting it for a couple of days, I just go with a cable, plug the cable in, and my phone goes right into Apple CarPlay. So even this base model comes with an adaptive cruise control Toyota calls dynamic range cruise control, which, you know, I can set for as much distance in front of me or less distance. This car has lane departure control called lane tracking assist, and that'll pull you back into the lane. We did a couple little tests with it. It's not bad. Again, it's not like a Tesla that drives itself, but it's really good if you were tired or if you glance down at the radio and, oh wait, the car pulls you back into the lane. The RAV4 has an analog dashboard, but it does, in the middle, has a little bit of computer section. I will say right off the bat, it's easy to read the analog speedometer and tachometer, but it's a little difficult to read the computer monitor in between the two. And maybe it's because I have polarized glasses on, but it's just a little dark. But it does tell you what your gas mileage is and if we're holding the lane and all that type of stuff. So that's kind of neat. Small monitor to compare to some cars, but again, this is the very base model of the RAV4. One thing, this car has got very minimal controls, and maybe that's a good thing. I can see everything pretty simply. Your air conditioning, it's that base model. The steering wheel does have all the controls that I need, and that they are pretty easy to read. Right by our stage, there's this air museum that I want to check out, because I also used to be a pilot, so I like to check out anything with airplanes. On the road with the Everyday Car Guy. As I mentioned, I'm in Denver, Colorado producing a promo for the CMA Awards and took some time out to explore the area. I really like Denver's downtown area, and there were plenty of restaurants near our hotel. We filmed at a stage about 20 minutes away from our hotel, and I noticed an air museum nearby and wanted to check it out. Wings Over the Rockies is a terrific museum located on the former Lowry Air Force Base. There are over 80 aircraft and spacecraft exhibits and plenty of different aircraft on display. It always amazes me the size of some of these fighter jets, a bit bigger than the Pipers and Cessnas I used to fly. My favorites include the F-14 Tomcat and the T-33 Shooting Star. Outside is a B-52, and it's hard to fathom just how big that bomber was. You can get up close and personal with the displays, and there are excellent exhibits on the history of aviation with photographs, models, and other memorabilia. The museum even has private events, which we saw being set up as we were leaving. So apparently you could do weddings here too, because we're setting up for a wedding event here. The museum is open on Saturday till 5 o'clock, so apparently the wedding's happening after 5 today. Right next door were a few restaurants and an ice cream shop that I couldn't resist. Rocket Ice Cream is a cool-looking self-standing ice cream shop in the shape of a rocket, complete with misters to simulate rocket fuel coolant. I really love the theme design and its mid-century motif. And the ice cream was pretty good too. If you're ever in the Denver area, I highly suggest coming to Wings Over the Rockies and checking it out. You won't be disappointed. It's time for Everyday Car Guy's report card. As for comfort, the Toyota RAV4's interior is pretty basic. The cloth fabric is a little coarse to the touch, but probably wears well over time. Everything is plain, nothing fancy here. The front seat was comfortable, but the back seat has limited legroom. The ride was sufficient, not too harsh, not too soft, so for comfort, let's give the RAV4 a C. Now for performance. I always rate the cars on everyday use. 0 to 60 is the most important performance element since we all need to get on highways. The Toyota RAV4 comes with a 4-cylinder that pushes about 205 horsepower that moves the car from 0 to 60 in just over 8 seconds. When you step on the gas, the engine sounds more like a toy than a car's engine. The car handles okay, but feels underpowered and the passing gear leaves much to be desired. So for performance, I'm rating the Toyota RAV4 a C. Economically, the Toyota RAV4 does pretty good. It gets about 35 miles per gallon on the highway and about 27 miles per gallon in the city for a combined mileage of 30 miles per gallon. If you drive a lot in the city, you might want to consider the hybrid that gets 41 miles per gallon in the city. The RAV4 has a 14.5 gallon fuel tank, so your range is over 400 miles per tank. Overall, let's give the Toyota RAV4 a B for economy. Let's talk about design. The Toyota RAV4 is a small SUV. It has nice lines, but it's amazing the difference between the base model to the adventure model. With the adventure model, you get nicer interior, alloy wheels, and a roof rack that gives the car a lot beefier stance and a much more refined interior. I've seen many higher level RAV4s on the road and really like their look, but that comes with a price. And we only test drove the base model. So for design, let's give the base model of the Toyota RAV4 a C+. For value, the Toyota RAV4 starts around $28,000, but this is really basic. I would highly recommend moving up to the XLE or Adventure trims if you can afford it. The higher trims jump up in luxury, options, and look cooler too. All of the models have Toyota quality, but when you compare options that you get for the same money in the Hyundai and the Kia, the Toyota comes up a little short. And for that reason, I rated the Toyota RAV4 a B- for value. Overall, the base model of the Toyota RAV4 gets a combined grade of a B-. Hey, thanks for joining us on Everyday Car Guy. I hope you liked today's test drive of the RAV4. If you want to see more shows like this, please subscribe. Until next time, drive carefully. Beep, 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 beep. No, it doesn't beep. Here, I see what you
Turn
want.
left on Uinta Street. Then
Copy
turn
that.
left on East 35th Avenue.